Health coverage for Australian visa holders. Australia has a good and functional safety net for Australian residents and citizens. Australia has Medicare, the Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme, PBS, and states like Queensland and I think Victoria, not sure, have free hospitals. However, if you don't have health coverage for visitors from overseas who are Australian visa holders, it can be very expensive indeed. Downundervisa have long recommended strongly that all holders of Australian temporary visas should ensure that they have adequate health coverage for their stays in Australia. That means to contact one of the private health insurers and organise overseas visitor health insurance for the applicant. Because if she gets seriously ill, then Medicare will not foot the bill. Don't kid yourself and don't assume that it will be cheap. Australian visa applications and health insurance. Well, it isn't a requirement for a visa application from the Philippines to Australia to have health insurance coverage. For some applications it is, for some visa types that is, but for visitor visas and partner visas it is not. It should be, in our view. We recommend that all applicants do organise this to prevent tragedies from happening, and we will continue to recommend overseas visitor health coverage for this reason. Travel insurance. Travel insurance will normally cover medical treatment for conditions which are not pre-existing, and they'll also cover lost baggage, cameras getting smashed, phones getting stolen, cancelled flights, etc. Generally not a bad option, but for longer stays of 3 months or more it can work out excessively expensive. So there is overseas visitor health coverage. Overseas visitor health insurance covers medical treatments only. Some will cover hospital treatment only, leaving you to pay yourself for visiting the GP, etc., in order to keep the cost down. These are offered by health insurance companies like Bupa, MBF, HCF, etc. Good protection and peace of mind for any stays in Australia, whether on a visitor visa for 3 months or 6 months or longer, or for prospective marriage visas where there is no coverage for Medicare. Now, is health coverage always necessary? Well, being covered is necessary, obviously, unless you like playing Russian roulette with your Filipina lady's health and life. And this means tourist visas and prospective marriage visa applications. Now, the exceptions are subclass 309 offshore partner visas applied for in Manila, subclass 820 offshore partner visas applied for in Australia, either for prospective marriage visa holders who married and applied for the next stage, or for those who simply marry in Australia and apply for partner visas. Once you apply for an 820 in Australia, or once you arrive in Australia with a subclass 309 partner visa, or even if you've simply applied for that subclass 309 partner visa, you may apply for Medicare and you can enjoy the same safety net as any Australian can. Just note that Medicare counter staff are not always well informed and not always helpful. Be prepared to go to a different office if you get no sense from the particular one that you talk to. But if you don't have these visas, then you need to get health insurance, or you do take a terrible risk. We had a client contact us once because his Filipina lady had acute appendicitis in Australia while she was there on a tourist visa. Now, he contacted me asking if he could organise health insurance now for her, or if he should call Medicare. I told him he should get her to the hospital before she died. Health insurance is never retrospective. It works forward, it doesn't work backwards. And note that it doesn't cover pre-existing conditions. Medicare does, but Medicare is different. We've had quite a few client babies born in Australia on hastily acquired Medicare cards, but don't expect to arrive in Australia with a big pregnant belly and expect that MBF will help you out. And it's only for pre-existing conditions, and they know what causes pregnancy these days. Now, we had a client recently, and he may well add a comment on the bottom of this. In fact, I expect he probably will. His wife presented to the hospital with gallstones recently. She ended up with 2 separate operations. The second one, they had to remove her gallbladder. I think from his estimation, he would have been billed around $15,000 Australian the first time, and I would assume probably about the same for the second operation. Now, he was very grateful he took our advice about health insurance, or that would have weighed very heavily on him. So, please do your homework, get your quotes and compare the benefits of the various policies. Watch out for conditions in the fine print. I believe some will only pay for certain hospitals and not all hospitals, and I think that something that just covers hospital treatment would suit most people, as that's where the major expenses are. But don't just leave the poor girl at risk, be responsible. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it and you would like to subscribe, you can click on the little button down the bottom corner there, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are regular articles on aspects of Australian visas to the Philippines on www.downundervisa.com.au. There's a blog page you can subscribe to. There is a free visa assessment form, and there are regular articles on aspects of Australian-Filipino relationships, which you can see on www.filipinawives.com.au. If you can please share these articles and these videos on any of the social media that you use, we would appreciate that. Thank you.